Hey JT, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Man, I'm so good to have you here. You like one of the new boos. You're on my list of boos.
Come on, boo boo. Huh?
Boo list, you on there.
Honey boo boo. Huh?
Yes, honey. Um, First of all, I'm just excited on so many levels while you're here. Because now this makes us talking like what, twice a day now?
Yes.
So we're gonna ignore the technical difficulties. This is live, it's real life, things happen.
Come on.
So I'm gonna give you a moment to get yourself together. In the meantime, hey everybody, what's up? It's your girl Camille Essick. I am the host and creator of the Speaker Podcast. And on this particular episode, I have my brother and friend, the new boo, one of my boos, my new brother. We talk every day, no kidding, because of the Mark Coley Business Academy 6 a.m. accountability call.
6 a.m.
Huh? 6 a.m., not p.m., a.m. So we beating the sun now because the days are getting shorter.
Yes. So I'm kind of excited because when I wake up, the sunlight is going to be there. So I'm kind of excited about that.
Yeah. Yeah, we're up talking to each other, bonnets and do-rags and
Well, now y'all stepped it up. Y'all have lighting and backgrounds. I just did my light for the first time today, so I'm trying to catch up with y'all.
This morning because I was going to go get my jog in, so I was like, I was in witness protection, like
trying to get your healthy tip in. I love it.
Black don't crack, but we gotta help stay in shape. But anyway, I have JT, the one and only JT, all the way from the ATL here on the Speaker Podcast.
Come on, ATL. Yeah. I'm really from, and y'all, I'm really from Alabama too. So people get mad when I be like ATL, and it was like, you're a Bama boy. Please don't forget. So,
what part are you from? Phoenix City, Russell County?
Oh no, that's two country. That's two country. We're in the little city called Dothan.
Dothan, Alabama.
Yes. And but Dothan is in the Bible, so we made it.
Well, so you were really saved. Okay.
We made it. We're getting in, all because we're in the Bible.
That's by default. Oh my gosh. Well, first of all, everybody, JT is one of my brand mentors. I'm gonna let you introduce yourself, JT, to the Speaker Podcast and let everyone know what you do.
Listen, thank y'all. Thank you. For having me on. I am a brand consultant, brand strategist. I own a brand design and consulting company called Just Raw Creatives. Our goal and our mission every day is to provide brand design, creative strategies, ideas, thinking to every entrepreneur, small business, and faith-based organization. Within my company, we have a corporate sector and we have a faith-based sector because I do understand that it was a reason why I grew up in church. It was a reason why I got frustrated with church, and it was to help. Oh, I was a deacon's kid.
Okay, close enough.
Yeah. Close enough. Look, he had a mic the entire service anyway, so you might as well say it. So from there, I'll just kind of went through the whole corporate arena, working in corporate America, went through the educational arena, working for Atlanta Public Schools, and now being a full-time entrepreneur. It's been a journey, and it's been a journey of really identifying, why am I here? Why am I on this earth? And what do people need that I have an answer for? Because I do believe that I'm an answer to somebody, not an answer to everybody, but I'm an answer to somebody. So trying to identify what that answer is so that I'm waking up every morning and I love what I'm doing. I am that person that says, if you do not like what you're doing, stop waking up and going to it. Let's wake up and find what you love so that that can produce not only joy from you, but income. So yeah, that's who I am.
I love it. I love it. I love it. And the contributing factors within your journey, what were some of the contributing factors into your growth as a man coming out of church, going into entrepreneurship, and particularly as a man of color?
Understanding who I was and ensuring that I had positive voices that have been where I'm going. I am a clear indicator of a person that says, I will listen to information and I'll listen to wisdom. Just make sure what you're telling me, I can take on for what I need, and it'll help me get to my next. So people contributing their voices, their experiences, the things that they've done, and then allowing me the room to fail and allowing me the room to question, because I did have a lot of people around me that allowed me to fail, not for me to get beaten down or be talked about, but to learn from my mistakes. Because one of the things that I've taken on from that journey is everything that I've dealt with and done for my life, that does not mean that you have to do the same thing or you're going to go through the same thing. It's for me to give you advice so that you can learn what you need for your life. So them allowing me to fail and then allowing me to grow. Working in the school system, I had a principal, and she knew what I had before I knew what I had. And she allowed me to create my own position. And that was really my starting point to learn how to be full-time, because what I did once my school closed down was literally what I was doing in the school that I was working for. It just had a different name. So allowing those people to see what I had and putting myself around those things and really learning more about myself. What do I love doing? What am I excited about? And understanding my indicators. What gets me on a high? What gets me on a low? So those are the things that I continuously would breathe in, eat in, regurgitate, and just kind of let settle day by day so that I'm learning more about who I am.
I love that. I love that so much. And then going into where we are now, we're seeing so many things on the news, particularly with men of color, with social justice and the police, with the current social climax and context of toxic masculinity, and standing up and speaking of as a Black man. Where do you find yourself in that narrative where we have toxic masculinity, but then we're seeing men like with George Floyd, even though this is a strong Black man, before he took his last breath and transitioned, he was calling out for his mother.
Yeah.
And, we have these images of, these strong, tough Black men, but then you see a man that's being emasculated, crying out for his mom. And I know you, this past weekend before last, you went to the March on Washington 2020. So what was that like, that experience like for you? And then in terms of masculinity in 2020 right now?
It was eye-opening because growing up in Alabama, you heard the stories. We were part of the stories. Even now, you can drive up the street and you can see the cotton fields.
Wow.
You can see and know what has happened. What we read in the books came through our streets and through our city. So growing up and having to see some of it head on, it kind of made me numb to a lot of things. I didn't want to talk about it. I didn't want to bring it up. I didn't even want to address it because I knew what came with it. And coming here to Atlanta and just being in what we call the capital of the civil rights movement, one of the capitals of the civil rights movement, and learning about what our forefathers did by building a path for us to be able to follow. It's encouraging, but sometimes it's disheartening, because me as a Black man, I always ask myself, will it ever get better? And if it's not going to get better, should I even try to be better? Should I even try to expand or try to do anything greater than what people say that I am? Because if I may be taking a run, or I may be going to get some candy, or I may be hanging outside, or having my kids in the car, and they may say, oh, you're a threat to society, we're scared of you, we're going to take your life, it sometimes make you say, well, why even press forward? Why even try to put our best foot forward if we're going to always be pushed back? But going to the March on Washington, one of the things that really just gave me energy was seeing us, because sometimes we'll see small portions of negativity, of doubt, of the opposite of what we should be going for. We begin to take that on as that's probably how everybody is. But going to DC and seeing that everybody's not like that, there is hope. There is another way. There are other avenues. There are advocates. There are paths that you can be able to take, and you will have support there. We took a trip to Philly while we were in DC to see some friends, and we hit the corner, and right there was the building that they signed the Declaration of Independence. And I was like, oh my God, I didn't see this the last time I was here. Huh?
Independence Hall?
Yeah. think so. I think so, yes.
Okay.
And we're seeing it. I'm like, oh my God, but it hit me differently. This is the reason. This is where they signed the Declaration of Independence, allowing us to be a free country. But me as a Black man, that wasn't for me.
Wow.
And to have to sit in looking at all this history, seeing all these things that were built, but we were never part of the conversation. We was never part of the equation.
Right.
It made me say, damn, like, really? Like, where is the hope? But because we were here, because we helped build, because we have this influence, even though they may have meant that thing to be for them, we're here now and we're going to take what we need. We're going to take what's ours. We're going to take the area that will give us the influence to show why we need to be here, why we are a man of color and our voice matters and our presence matters. So it was an eye-opening moment for me, just because I got to see us come together. I remember they boarded up the whole downtown of to keep from the looting and the fighting, and none of that happened. So it was just a great moment to see unity coming together to try not to just do it for Black lives, but for everyone that has been beaten down and pushed aside. No, we're going to create a path for us to come through so that you have hope and your life matters. So
I love that. And I think traveling to seeing us in different environments. I know when I was in the military and being deployed and being overseas and seeing us as people of color outside of our neighborhood, and to see how excellent we are as a people on a global scale. People that look like me that can speak 4 and 5 different languages and very in math and science and physics and the arts and music, and seeing things that we built, you know, things our ancestors built, and then to come back to America after those deployments. And I felt kind of down because it's like, wow, you know, if we, I think as a people here in America would get out of the country and travel or go to different parts of the country and see how excellent we are, we'll carry ourselves a greater sense of pride. And, you know, I see us in Target, some of us, not me, because I don't do that, but some of us slide around in Target with bonnets and house shoes on, you know, just in our presence, and to see us and our ancestors where they carry themselves, they're pulled together, their hair is done, they take pride in what they wear. And I know it's not just about that, but just taking pride in our presence alone, and just how excellent our presence is and how that's exuded on a global scale. And they come back to America and it's like, man, I wish the rest of us could see this. Or every time I come to Atlanta and I come through the airport, I feel such a pride when I go to the Atlanta airport, because you see all this Black excellence on the halls and the portals of each terminal going to the concourse of the airport. And it's like, wow, we have so much history. We've done so much to build this country. But like you said, you look how we're treated. And it can be very disheartening sometimes. And I just think, even like my next question, how does all that play into entrepreneurship with representation, supporting each other in business, or even within brands saying, hey, I don't know how to do this. Well, JT, can you show me how to do X, Y, Z? Or Cam, I'm not good at interior design, or you help, and just sharing our gifts. And it's not always about the dollar, because at the end of the end, if I have something that can make your brand better and you have something that can make my brand better, then we can do an exchange or a bargain. It's gonna bring more clients to both of us, because then we'll start referring people to each other. And then in the long term, as far as money, we're both gonna win.
And getting to that, how that plays into entrepreneurship, it's heavily because how I was taught as a person, that became the pattern of my business. And it wasn't a good pattern, because I wasn't always taught to be on time all the time. I wasn't taught really how to manage my time. I wasn't taught how to be disciplined. I was taught different things. You know what I'm saying? Some days it was, you know, do it for this reason. Some days it was do it for that. It wasn't this thing of consistency. And looking at how we are as individuals, and then looking at people, like I always say, there was a lot of things people did not tell me came with entrepreneurship. Like when they say, oh, you need to work You know, you don't want to work for nobody. You want to work for yourself. You want to own your own. And when I get in here, I'm learning I'm still working for somebody. I'm still working for that client because I need them to pay me so that I can have income to be able to go forward.
The
And
boss
if
and
I,
equally at the same time.
right. And I'm like, okay, but then the other thing is, when you become an entrepreneur, have we been taught how to see beyond where we currently are? Have we been taught how to go beyond? Because that's the whole theme of Just Draw Creators. Our tagline is to go beyond. Have you been taught how to go beyond where you are? Because when you start off as an entrepreneur, within 5 years, you should not be doing the same thing. You should not even be in the same position if you've been able to see yourself beyond you being quote unquote behind the computer or doing this particular task. And me not sometimes not having that voice of an entrepreneur in me, those things wasn't instilled to create the system, create the plan, create discipline, know how to have time management, know how to have good customer service. Like those things, I did those things when I worked in corporate. Doing it myself, that wasn't something that I embodied. So it wasn't something that I really produced and I shown. And it wasn't until I started to look and see what are the things that are missing that will allow me to grow, to expand, to allow people to work for me. And it was those little tactics, the tools. But when you look at my life was not reflecting it either. So being a male, being a Black male, seeing this history, seeing how we were brought up, those things play heavily to you being an entrepreneur because your personal habits will find itself being a part of your personal business. And if those things are not better, because here's the thing, I can create systems all day, but if I haven't created the system for my life to be better, it will not flow through my business the correct way because I'm the one that's pushing. I'm the visionary. I'm the one that's being creative. Even if I bring in a team, the team has to know where to go. It's that they did not, God didn't give them that vision or they didn't get this idea. They have came to support what I'm doing. So not being able to see beyond where I'm at and wanting to stay and not wanting to grow, not wanting to be consistent, I know those are the things that will hinder people from being able to move forward. So yeah, how we've been taught, what we do as Black men, Black women, our history, culture, how we're brought up, knowing when you go out, have yourself presentable because you never know where you're going to be. You're in Target. I ain't gonna see nobody. You don't know who you may run into. You don't know
Part of the
the line.
representation of your brand. Yes.
Right. It could be a long line that day and you stand beside someone, they spark a conversation and you have what they need, but yet you look a specific way. And it's not something that's appeasing to where they may want to have that conversation or trust you with what they need to be done. So I think if we can really begin to support, push, provide, and allow them, because you said this key thing, because you've seen more, you begin to do more, you begin to be more. And I think allowing a space where people are able to see more and experience more will help them want to make that internal decision. Because I am that one that says, I don't care how great your system is, if your life does not reflect this great system that you're trying to be, it will not continue. There will be a downfall because how long can you continue to play around and be fake? It won't work. So build and get around better people, better habits, better patterns so that that thing can follow into your business, growth can happen, and you can see beyond where you started at.
Man, you are dropping some nuggets. We need to put your cash out so you can get some tithes and offerings because people say you talking good, son.
Come on, cash out me.
For real. But first of all, I want to take a break. If you're just tuning in, this is Cameo Essick. I'm the founder and creator of the Speaker Podcast. Here I have my brother and friend JT. He is what I call the brander's brander, the creator's creator. Be sure to follow me. I am on Instagram at Kamika Meek. You can also connect with me online at kamikameek.com and also via email at thespeakerpodcast@gmail.com. And if you haven't heard this week, I kicked off my new interior design, home decor page, Casa Decors. JT has seen it. He's dancing, so you know it's the bomb. I don't put out mess, you guys. So be sure to follow Casa Decors Design at Gmail, also on Instagram as well. So be sure to hit me up there. And JT, we're going to get your information out there at the end of this episode as well. Okay. But for those that are just tuning in, if you're late, trust me, you're missing some good knowledge, some nuggets JT is dropping here. So with that being said, you were touching on if someone's personal life is a mess, their brand, their business is going to be a mess. So when someone comes to you and they're like, JT, I need your services, where do you begin with them? Do you just jump in from the professional level, or do you kind of mix the personal in with the business? How do you work with them to get them right on the track?
So I have a formula. The formula is you talk, I talk, and then we'll talk, right? And I let them talk first because I want to hear what they're saying, what they're not saying, and what they're trying to say so that I can identify if we have what they need to get them to the next level. Because one thing that I share when I bring in a potential client, I say, all right, I want you to talk. And I don't want you to hold back. I want you to give me everything that you have, that you thought of, because I found out that a lot of people, when it comes to launching, starting up their brand, there's this one word that keeps them bound from being able to be their biggest self, and it's called fear. And what I try to do, I try to create a culture and experience in a moment to where fear is not included. Dream big, think big, do big. Let me know what have you seen? What do you want to do? And let them talk. And as they're talking, I'm listening and I'm taking things in and I'm hearing for indicators. That's one thing I teach my team about when we're having conversations. This right here is our moneymaker, because we're able to hear what they're not saying. Because while they may say, yeah, like today, a guy texted, he said, man, I need a logo. I was like, okay. And I want the logo to say this. And I'm like, he doesn't want a logo. He wants a t-shirt design. Difference is $600 is difference, because the t-shirt design is so much less than a logo, because the logo is attached to a brand. But if a person saying, oh, I want a logo, then the question becomes, so where's your brand identity? Have you created a brand strategy? Do you have a website? Because there's no reason to have a logo and you don't have all the other elements that, coincide and follow with that. So that's how we do it. We literally let them talk and we listen to, where they're at. We try to find indicators on what are they fearful of, what have they been holding back on. Because if you could have been in some of these sessions where they came to me one way, by the time we get off the phone, we really got to what they really had down in them. And it's usually said like this. So yeah, this is what I want to do, blah, 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 because at first I started doing this, and then, and I was like, pause. You first started doing what? This. Okay, what happened to that? Did you really want to stop? I didn't. So why did we stop? Okay, you know what? Let's look at that, because I bet you that ties into what you're seeing now. And once we have that conversation, we'll see that they gave up on probably what was hard and they didn't know, and what they're getting now is just like one-offs of the real thing. And it's our goal to try to find out what's the true thing, what's that real deep thing that lights you up, that gives you excitement. So that's kind of how we do it. We create a culture, we create an experience of listening, of comfort, so that people are not scared to share or feel intimidated to tell us what did they see for their lives. And we get great products from that.
I love it. I love it. I love it.
Yes.
Because a lot of times people don't know what they need, or they don't know what they want. And you notice, like in some businesses, like if you go to, let's say there's a Chick-fil-A. The Chick-fil-A, same chicken is either spicy, original, or grilled.
Mm-hmm.
They may present it in a few different ways, but that's it.
Yeah.
Because if you were to really make it Cajun and Black, people will be at the menu all day.
Yeah.
So you can take the chicken breast and give it some whole, take that same chicken breast and chop it up. Now it's sliders for nuggets.
Yeah.
Put it in a salad or wrap.
Yeah.
Same 3 chickens, original, spicy, or grilled.
Yes.
Just served differently.
I need Chick-fil-A to listen, because I had an idea. They need to come out with spicy chicken nuggets, because I've never seen them. And I think they would be so phenomenal, but keep going.
Yeah, but we're on the same page.
And listen, I want to add something to that with what you're saying about knowing where to start. Mm-hmm. That's usually why even for the people that have the ideas, but they haven't started, I get those conversations. They always say, well, where do I start? And I respond to them and I say, what can you do right now? Oh, I can do this. That's where we start. And a lot of times we're seeing so much bigger, and we're thinking this small idea, this small moment is not enough. But really, if you get enough pennies, it'll add up to become $1. If you get enough dollars, it'll add up to be on 100. You get enough hundreds, it'll add up, and it will continue to grow. So I always tell people, if you have the idea, you have the moment, you may not have the name, you may not have the structure, but start with what you can do, because this is my philosophy as being a Christian. God is already giving you life. So you being here, you know you're here for a reason. Second, he's giving you a love for something. So instead of asking God, what is my purpose? Let's just work with the two things we know that he's given us, love for something and life. And let me begin to move that way. And I feel that if we begin to do what we've been given to first, the other things will come out of that, because I'm not that person that says skip B, make up for it when you get to D, and foreshadow C. No, let's take each step the way it needs to be, because everything has a reason. So for the people that are like, oh my God, I don't know where to start with what you can do and create a system, a consistency, a pattern around that. And I promise you, after you do that for a while, something else will come. And because you built that foundation, you're able to build on it, not trying to start up, so big. Start with what you can do and let that grow from there.
Yes, I want to do a couple of shout outs right quick. I want to shout out Mandy Wansley, Marvin Minoy, and Alicia. What's up? Nashville's in the building. Hey, people, thank you for tuning in. My folks, just had to give them some love because they're always supporting me. So I want to say thank you to tuning in on this episode.
Awesome.
Yes, they're loving what you're saying. You're dropping nuggets. And hi, Miss Deborah, how are you doing? I love the fact that you're talking about purpose and life and where can you start, because a lot of times we're so focused on what we don't have. Like, I don't have money, I don't have, but just what, like you said, what do you have? And if a lot of times if we just work on it a little bit and just trust God with it, sometimes he just wants you just to say, well, hey, I gave you this idea. Do you trust me to step on faith and to go with that?
Yeah.
And then you'll be surprised, like over time, he'll start bringing people into your life. He'll start giving you resources. I know years ago when I started Kamiki Mink, I started with one pair of lashes. One pair, didn't have different styles. What's up, Thee? What's up, you guys? Had one pair of lashes, nothing. And then before you knew it, I had multiple.
You got them everywhere. Just
everywhere. And turn up doing wigs and brushes, shirt merch, and it blossomed. But even in that, my first year I had an HP, and that was my laptop, and it crashed. And one day somebody messaged me and was like, hey, send me your information. I want to sew into you. And they sent me enough money for me to get a MacBook and the case for it. Because they said, I see what you're trying to do, and I believe in what you're doing. I want to sew into you and sew into your business. So they sold it to me financially for me to get a MacBook, and now I have 2 MacBooks.
Come on.
You buy for 2 phones. No, baby, I got 2 Macs.
Come on. I got the 2.
Those when you do it, double for my trouble. Okay?
Come on. And listen, and with that, I tell people, because I am a living witness of, there are people already. So here's the thing. You have God, the Father, God, the Son, God, the Holy Spirit, right? We know about the Holy Spirit. We know about the Son, Jesus, but we forget about God, the Father. And if you look at God as Father, the one that will cover you, that will look out for you, right? He already has people prepared to be a blessing to you. But the thing is, they won't come to you. You're going to go to them. And you going to them is not you walking up to them and saying, hey, I'm here. It's you completing the task that he's given to you to make great of what he's prepared for you, to where when folks that have been designed to be there for you, they're going to come out, like you're going to feel they're going to come out of nowhere and say, I want to be a blessing. The Lord already had it set up. But because you didn't stop, because you didn't give up, because you didn't say, I ain't got this, I ain't got that, you kept pushing. And when you went out, nobody else probably knew about your HP, but your Father knew. And he knew, all right, now that's out. Let me call in the help, reinforcement, and let me send it to her, because she's still going, she's still moving. And I tell people all the time, the help, the need, everything is there. And when we feel like, oh my God, we're not getting what I need, it's so hard, I sometimes stop and look back and say, what am I not doing? Because some of this is tied to me not completing, finishing, preparing enough. Because if he's given it to me, everything I need is already there. But what have I not done? How can I take ownership of this thing? And with that, I've been on this whole kick, and I talk about it, about being independent and being a dependent. And a lot of us are independent individuals where we can make stuff happen by ourselves. We don't need a lot of people. We can rock it, but it gets hard when the times shift and we're not independent anymore. We now need to be a dependent on somebody to provide for us. And when that happens, I don't look at it as me being a dependent and somebody providing for us. I look at it as now me being dependent on God to give me the help that I need. Because all the seeds that I've sown, there has to be a time that we have to reap to show that God is faithful. So it's like when things get hard, don't worry. Be a dependent on God so that he can send you the help. Because some of us, he has to take it away so that we can be pushed down and he can rise and we can say, God did this again. God brought this help to me. All of that so that we're not always being so independent and we don't need him. I like to stay in the dependent mode. Let me be a dependent on God. Depend on him to allow me to see the provision that he's already prepared for me. And in that case, you'll get people hitting you up saying, hey, here's the finances, here's the money, here's the connections. And it'll be another reminder that I'm on the right track. I'm doing things I need to be doing. So that's dope. I almost ran, but I'm in my office.
I'm trying to be good over here. You know how I was raised. Don't play with me.
Well, no, I love that.
He said, "Talk, sir." We churchy over here.
Listen.
What's up, Dina? Thank you for tuning in. Thank you. So what are 3 huge mistakes people make in branding?
The first big mistake is trying to imitate someone.
I think you can say that again for the people in the back.
Trying to imitate someone. Now, here's the thing. There are other brands out there that are probably doing the same thing that you want to do. I am the firm believer that everybody is different. And there's a thing called creativity inside of me that gives me a different outlook on something. One of the most creative things that I've ever seen is tissue paper. I said, how creative can you get with tissue rolls? Now they got some tissue rolls don't even have the roll anymore. Now they done came up with, they got a Senate roll with tissue paper. And I'm like, what else are y'all coming up with? Somebody's not stopping with saying, what other creative things can we do? So trying to imitate somebody else instead of being your own self. And when people do that, they limit innovation. Innovation is the ideas that we have coming from ourselves as being creative. So let me not look at someone and say, I want to be like them. No, I admire them. Let me see what they've done that may look like what I'm trying to do. And let me maybe take a little bit of look at their systems or their patterns. And now let me add my difference to it so that I can stand out, so that I can be a Checkers, a Wendy's, a McDonald's, a Burger King. They all sell burgers, but every last one of them, there's a difference. And that difference now speaks to that market that you're called to. So one, trying to imitate. The second one, not having good systems. I started doing graphic designs. Didn't think I needed a system. Didn't think people just need graphics. Let's go about it. No, it wasn't until I got a system. I had forms, I had payment methods, I had responses, and then I had to identify how long does it take for me to design a graphic. Why? Because my time became important. I had to start looking. I'm spending an hour to make a $50 graphic when I could probably spend the same hour making a $300 website. Let's figure out how we can make this thing work. And I think a lot of times that thing is not taught to entrepreneurs about what is your system. And when we're launching our business, most of us just launch and we learn on the go. We don't take the time to build foundation. Why? Because I need the money. That's how I started. I need the cash. I need my bills paid. I'll learn on the go. And I'm exerting more energy than I needed to. So I'm always exhausted. I'm always overworked. I'm always angry. Why? Because this season was not for me to overwork, but because I did not create a system I'm up here building on something and I have no foundation. So I tell people, don't imitate, build systems, and create. And the last one is understand time management. And I'm gonna put time management and discipline. I'm gonna put those two together because that's when my life changed. It wasn't because I prayed, it wasn't because I fasted, it wasn't because like so no. When I became disciplined and I began to manage my time and bring those two together, everything began to change because I stopped allowing other things and people to control what I do with my day. And then with discipline comes consistency. So because I'm consistent, because I respond when you text me back, because I read the email and I give you response in that right time, because I follow through with the ideas and the proposals and the moments, I see income, I see communicate, I see everything going. That thing was not what people told me. They said you can wake up when you want to wake up. Okay, cool. I'll wake up at 12 o'clock and then I'll go to bed at 10. And I wonder why I'm not seeing my business flourish, because when I get up at 10, my day really don't start to 1 because I got all this other stuff going on. Then I start eating. Like, it's so much. Nobody said this is how you need to manage your time. This is why you get up early. This is why you set up a playing field, because I had to look and say, do I want to be carrying around my laptop every day of my life, picking up and working, or do I want to have a place to go and I can repeat this with other people that are working from me? So if that happens, I can't get up at 10. If somebody call out, I'm probably gonna have to go in. So let's start building those systems that allow me to have discipline and manage my time. And I think that's where a lot of people lose it as an entrepreneur, because they don't have a system that outlines what's urgent and what's important but not urgent. And a lot of times we spend time on what's important and not urgent. And then when the urgent thing is like, I'm here, we start stressing and we're not giving our best work because we didn't have time management. We didn't have a system that listed out what's high priority and what's not. So don't imitate, build systems, and make sure that you have time management and discipline.
I love it. Hey, Sonia, thank you for tuning in. JT, first of all, you are dropping some jewels. I'm definitely bringing you back because, I mean, you're giving information, but you low-key preaching.
Listen, when you live it and then you have to learn from it, it'd be like,
buddy.
okay, all right.
They ain't
I
ready.
just well do it.
We get this at 6 a.m. every morning. And when you touched on getting up, because you and I know we get up on the accountability call with the Mark Coley Business Academy every day.
Shout out to Mark Coley.
Shout out to Mark Coley. And by the time I get off that call, because I'm with you guys on and I'm working out at the same time,
Yes.
killing two birds with one stone. By the time I get off the call, shower, have my breakfast, and log in for work, I have like an hour and a half window. So what do I do? I go ahead and do my social media posts.
Yeah.
Emails, get that out to all my social media platforms, links, or whatever. And then I can hop into work. And if work is slow, then I can slide in some homework. And like you said, time management. Because it's, what's the point of you waiting till 11, 12 o'clock to do a post? Because people get caught up in the day, they forget.
Correct.
Most people, what do when they wake up? They lay in the bed for 15, 20 minutes scrolling.
Yeah.
By the time they see going through their phone, if you're already up at 6, like we are on the call, go ahead and get the post so that way your information is getting that full rotation all day. And if someone posts and they respond to your post at 9 a.m., hit them back about 2 or 3 o'clock, because it's going to recirculate that post back. And we know how the algorithm works in social media. Yeah. It's going to recirculate and then check it again around 7 o'clock.
Yeah.
For the day.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we're working smarter and not harder.
Not harder. We're choosing to do better, because that whole time period, it makes a difference. And the thing is that you keep saying that people don't do, you're choosing to make the best of your time. You know what I'm saying? Like you recognize I have an hour. Let me go ahead and that's huge. Because some people don't look and see that they got an hour, and then what's the best thing I need to do with that time? So people making that choice, that's why I know it just does not come happenstance. It is something that you have to work into, because you as people as entrepreneurs, the way that you tell if you're a healthy entrepreneur or you're an obese entrepreneur. When I say obese, mean you're just full of stuff. You're not producing, you're not productive. You're just walking around fat, full because you're not being able to give out. Healthy people, they look and they're making healthy choices. So if your choices are not producing productivity, you're probably just obese walking around.
Yeah, and you also have to take that downtime where you cut it off. Because if you're
Yes.
constantly creating, you're going to be in a deficit. You're going to be wiped out.
Yes.
Meaning,
Yes.
you don't post anything. I have days throughout the week that I don't get on. I'm quiet, praying, meditation. Like today, I promise you, I kid you not, I was initially trying to work on something else.
Mm-hmm.
But it was like, I could just really feel God. And in that moment, just stopping what I was doing and being sensitive, he began to talk to me and kind of like drops himself in my spirit, like,
yeah,
you know, a reminder, like, I see you. And I was like, okay. And it could happen. I could be steam up in my hardwoods or whatever. But just having that prayerful mindset and spirit, it could be something he's dropping in your spirit about yourself, business, or your finances. But in the end, it's for you.
Yes.
But we get so busy with social media. Let me check
Yes.
Sometimes you might get 3 likes.
Yeah.
We get this live and maybe it's only 12 people watching. Fine, okay, but it's gonna get on the replay regardless.
Yes.
But when I do this and get off, you still have to make time to honor God and say, God, I thank you for the day. I thank you for provision. I thank you for waking me up. I thank you for your protection. I thank you for looking out for me. I thank you for innovation. I thank you for creativity. And giving him those thank yous and that gratitude, because I think we get so much in the space of asking God, God, do this, God, do that. God, sometimes stop asking him for stuff and just say thank you. Just being in the space of gratitude, because I feel like if you're just appreciative for where we are right now, oh, JT really appreciates this moment. Let me go ahead and give him this because I know he's going to thank me for it. Or just in the space of she doesn't have everything right now that she wants, or, you know, but she's grateful for the right now. So I know if I give her this, I know I can trust her with it because she's going to thank me for it.
Yeah. Let me tell you the revelation I got 2 weeks ago, and it's the simplest thing, but I'm like, God, and the scripture says God created the days, right? And at the end of each day, it said he created the day one, and he stepped back, he said, this is good. He said, the day is good. And I stopped and I was like, wait a minute. He paused and said that his work that he just did was good. One, am I stopping to appreciate the work that has been done? Because he ended the day and said, this is good. Well, when you continue to read, scripture says, this is the day that the Lord has made. I will rejoice, which is choose. I will choose to rejoice and be glad in it. Why should I rejoice in this day? Because if you look at it, when God stopped day one, let's just say Sunday is day one. When he ended day one, he didn't end on negativity. He ended on it is good. So where he ended is now me starting on a day where he ended, which was good. So when I wake up in the morning, I have to know that good is already here because God has already been here. How do we know he's been here? Because he's already created the days. And when he ended each day, he said, this is good. So wherever I'm starting is where he just ended. And it was good. So making that time to allow him to speak to you. And I always tell people, think of God like this. Think about your life being a runway and God being the helicopter or the airplane. They will only land when the runway is clear. Everything you need is circling around you, but until you make the time, the space for him to land, you can't get what you receive. And like you said, you were sitting there doing work, getting things done. Obviously, you have some space in your life that he was able to say, now let me speak this, let me say this, let me remind you, because guess what? There may be something getting ready to come that's going to throw you off that you only know about. So let me remind you and thank you for having space for me to land. I believe a lot of people that are in a lot of hard places in their life, there's so much on your runway, you need to clear some stuff off so that he can land and give you what you need. And you can be able to make forward to go to your next. So that's how I look at now. And like you said, I tell him thank you because every day that I wake up, I'm starting where he ended. And his ending was, this is good. So there's no need for me to worry. He was already here before me. Let me just accept everything that I need for today. And let's make this thing work.
I love it. What's up, Mark? What's up, Atira? Hey, everybody. Thank you for joining. He said, preach, JT. You know, we're going to hear about it tomorrow in the morning.
Listen, pray on oversleep, huh?
Yes. And be sure to follow Mark Coley.
Yes.
Mark Coley Business Academy is a blessing. If y'all are not on it, do it now, because I'm telling you, it's going to another level.
Come on. Well, look, when those prices raised, don't be like, why you got the opportunity now, huh?
But they say in church, don't let it be said it's too late. Hey, Sarah, what's up? So where can people connect with you and hop on if they want to get more from you on social media, book you for the brand? Just plug. This is the space and time to plug your business. Go ahead.
So everyone, if you can go to Just Raw, JUSTRAW creatives.com. That is my business. You can connect with me on there. We have 15-minute consultations that are free. That's where we do the whole formula, and we're able to see how we're able to help you. We do have regular consultations that we do for, I think, like 45 minutes to an hour. You do have to pay for that, but it's more time that you have with me and sometimes with my team, depending on the need that you have. You can follow me on Instagram, Facebook. I am JT. You won't see me posting a lot right now because I've been taking the last 2 months to build internally and really set up my system, because I've been going for the last 4 or 5 years and not following through with what I've been telling everybody else to do. So I am looking for that to get prepared. So with the next month or so, y'all will really see some things, but definitely follow me on Instagram. I am JT. I definitely will respond. I do communicate. Hit me up in the DMs. You can definitely ask me questions. And if it gets to like the third question, I'm going to send you a link to schedule some time with me, so that we can go ahead. I don't mind sewing, but we're not going to pour, huh? We're just going to sew just a little bit. All right. So, definitely connect with me on there. But again, if you're an entrepreneur, if you're creative, and really for the ones that are working 9-to-5s and you're trying your best to identify, because here's the thing that I'm feeling heavy on me with what I've been establishing, because I've been saying, really, God, help me narrow down that market. And it's for those creatives, for those individuals that are trying to decide, should I do this? Should I do that? How do I manage? And I'm here to say you can do both. You can do both. You can work a 9-to-5 and have a business. You can be a creative and be structured. You can have both. It just takes conversation. It takes advice. It takes systems. It takes time management, discipline, all of those things. So if you got a 9-to-5 and you got an idea, hit us up. Let us talk to you. Let us help build you. We'll do brand identity strategy. We'll design your logos, website, social media consultation. You need a photo shoot. We literally do everything dealing with branding. That's who we are. But the main thing is we want to have the conversation before we get to work so that we can make sure we are going to produce what you saw, because we're not going to create the vision for you. That's not what we do. We take what you already have, we pull the support around it, and we give it back to the world. So yeah.
I love it. Well, I'm going to bring you back, because when I say you dropped some nuggets tonight.
Listen, chicken nugget, huh?
Honey, chicken nuggets. You dropped some jewels. Do you hear me? So I'm going to definitely bring you back. I love your vibe and your energy.
Awesome.
For those that are late, it's okay. The replay is coming. You can hit this link after and watch it again.
Yes.
I'm your host, Cameo Bobo. This is Speaker Podcast. If you don't know, I've also kicked off my new interior design page on Instagram. It is Casa Decor's Design, as well as my Kamiki Meek page. Be sure to tune into the Speaker Podcast on all the streaming platforms. You can also connect with me via email at thespeakerpodcast@gmail.com, and Instagram, Kamiki Meek, also at www.kamikmeek.com. And Speaker Podcast is also on Facebook, so hit me up there. And until next time, guys, be blessed. Bye-bye.
Peace out, peeps.